It was one of those Mondays where everything felt off. The sky was a dull gray, the kind of overcast that blanketed the city like a wet cloth. The wind bit at Rachel's cheeks as she tightened her scarf and pushed open the door to the small cafe on 4th and Maple. The familiar chime above the door offered little comfort. Her body ached from a night of tossing and turning, and her mind was foggy from stress she hadn't been able to shake for weeks. Her job at the marketing firm had been hanging by a thread. Last Thursday, her manager told her bluntly, "You're not performing like you used to." Rent was due in 3 days. The heating in her apartment was broken. Again. And last night, she'd spent her final few dollars on cold medicine, hoping it would help her sleep through the constant anxiety. Rachel stepped up to the counter, blinking at the bright menu overhead. "Medium caramel latte, please," she mumbled, tapping her chip card against the reader. Declined. She tried again, this time inserting the chip. Declined. Rachel felt her throat tighten. She let out a nervous laugh and fished in her bag for another card. The one she never used unless desperate. Declined. "I'm so sorry," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, eyes avoiding the people behind her. "I'll just..." But before she could finish, the barista gave her a warm smile and said, "You're good. Someone already paid for your drink." Rachel blinked. "What?" The barista nodded toward the crowd. "Guy with the green jacket, I think. He already left." She turned slowly, scanning the cafe. No one met her eyes. Whoever it was, they were gone. A knot of emotion rose in her throat. It was only a coffee, a small, insignificant cup of warmth on a freezing morning, but it meant the world to her. She sat at a window seat and wrapped her hands around the drink, letting the warmth seep into her fingers. Whoever did this, she thought, thank you. That afternoon, after a long and painful meeting with her manager, another warning, no progress, Rachel found herself walking home in a daze. She passed another cafe, this one newer, trendier. She stepped inside and stood in line, still thinking about the morning. Behind her was a woman, late 30s, carrying a worn-out teacher's tote, flipping through papers. Rachel didn't know what came over her. She stepped to the counter, ordered her own coffee, and then said, "And I'll get hers too." The woman looked up, surprised. "Oh, are you sure?" Rachel smiled. "Absolutely. Someone was kind to me this morning. I'm just passing it on." She scribbled a quick note on a napkin before leaving. "A stranger was kind to me today. Now it's your turn." That woman, Dana, had been teaching 3rd grade at Roosevelt Elementary for 10 years. It was a job she loved, though it barely paid the bills. She lived alone with her cat, Tulip, and spent her weekends grading papers and attending school fundraisers. That week had been rough. One of her students, a bright-eyed boy named Marcus, had broken down crying in class. His parents were going through a separation. Another student had come to school in a threadbare jacket, clearly too thin for the bitter weather. She had been wondering how to help, how to do something, when everything felt like too much. That night, Dana stopped by the grocery store. At the register, she noticed a young mother, maybe 25, holding a baby in one arm, rifling through coupons with the other. The clerk had just told her she was $14 short. Dana stepped forward. "I'll cover it," she said without hesitation. The young mother's eyes filled with tears. "You don't have to." "I want to," Dana said. "Someone was kind to me today. I'm just paying it forward." Chapter 4. The Mother and the Shelter. The young mother's name was Lila. She lived in a small apartment with her 6-month-old son and worked part-time at a laundromat. Every dollar mattered. She'd been skipping meals so her son could eat. That night, after putting the baby to sleep, she sat at the kitchen table and cried. She remembered the warmth in the teacher's eyes, the fact that someone, a stranger, had seen her struggle and chosen to help. The next morning, she walked 2 miles to a local shelter and donated 20 frozen meals from a stockpile she'd been slowly building. "They're not much," she told the volunteer, "but I want to help someone like me." Within days, something began to shift in the city. Strangers started leaving notes in library books. "You are loved. Keep going." At the gas station, someone prepaid $20 for the next customer. A man who hadn't been able to fill his tank for 2 weeks broke down in tears. At the hospital, a nurse bought breakfast for the janitor. The janitor, in turn, paid for someone's medication. A group of high schoolers left handmade cards with chocolate bars around town saying, "Today is a good day to be kind." The local newspaper caught wind of it. Then the evening news.